All right, so we are going to look at section 3.5, the review solutions for section 3.5. So here it says you'll be able to solve quadratic equations by using the square root property, and you'll be able to solve quadratic equations by completing the square. I just want to make sure that this is recording quickly, you guys. All right, good. So if we look at our first couple examples here, it says find the value of c that makes each trinomial a perfect square, then write the trinomial as a perfect square. So this is kind of nice. We're just looking for these numbers right here, which isn't going to be too bad. So what you do when you find the perfect square is you take, it's always going to be b over 2 squared, okay? And b is always the number in front of x. So for this one, it's going to be negative 10, whoopsie, negative 10 over 2 squared, which is negative 5 over 2, which is negative 5 squared, which is 25. So that is the c value that it asked for. And then it says, then write it as a perfect square. So what we're going to do is, if you remember from the videos, the shortcut is to just take this number, the number you cut it in half to get, and put it in there squared. We won't even set it equal to anything. Just go like this. So this is the c value, and this is it written as a perfect square. So the next one, we're going to take 2 over 2 squared, which is, whoopsie, 1 squared, which is 1. So then the shortcut is to take this number and square it. So there's the perfect square, and that's the c value. All right, and last one, take this guy over 2 squared, which is negative 11 squared, which is 121. And then we can go x minus 11 is this guy squared. All right. So now we've essentially completed the square up top. We just didn't solve or like find the solutions. So down here, that's what we're going to do. So it says solve each equation by completing the square. Cool, we can do that. So first thing we do, first step is to get it just x, the x is on one side. So we're going to add 16 to both sides. We get x squared plus 6x, leave a little gap, equals 16. Then we'll do our little c work over here. So we'll go 6 over 2 squared is 3 squared, which is 9. This is where the 6 came from. So then we go plus 9 on this side, but then I'm going to add 9 on this side as well. Then we skip down one step, and we go x plus 3. I use the shortcut. Squared equals 25. And then it wanted us to find the solutions, so we can go ahead and do that. I'll do the work in red here. So we're going to square root and square root. So you get x plus 3 equals 5, but also x plus 3 equals negative 5, because the square root of 25 is 5 and negative 5. So you do minus 3 minus 3, and you get 2, minus 3 minus 3, and you get negative 8. All right, next one, do a similar process here. So we'll start by adding 14, x squared minus 8x, leave a little gap, equals 14 on, 14 on this side. We can do our c work over on the side. So we'll take this negative 8 over 2 squared, which is negative 4 squared, which is 16. So we'll do plus 16 plus 16. So then we're going to go x minus 4 is going to go in here, equals 30. And then I'll solve in red. So we square root, x minus 4 equals square root 30, and x minus 4 equals negative square root 30. It's a negative. I'm afraid you guys are going to not read that correctly, so I'm just going to rewrite it. Okay. So then if you add 4, we get x equals 4 plus square root 30, and x equals 4 minus square root 30. If you guys write it as plus or minus, that's fine. It would be 4 plus or minus root 30. That works too. Okay. The next one, what we would do here is move our 17, x squared minus 2x, leave a gap, equals negative 17. Do our B work, or sorry, our C work, negative 2 over 2. Squared is negative 1, squared, which is 1. So I'm going to do plus 1, and then we do our shortcut. So we take this number here, x minus 1 squared equals negative 16. And then I will solve it in red. So we square root. X minus 1 equals, if you take the square root of regular 16, it's 4 and negative 4, but we have this negative sign, which means we need to go 4i and negative 4i. Just add the I on there, it takes care of the negative. Then we do plus 1, and we get x equals 1 plus 4i. Here we do plus 1, and we get x equals 1 minus 4i. Or you could do 1 plus or minus 4i. However your teacher focused on it. Either of those will work. All right. So we have two more. These ones are a little bit different. The biggest reason, or I guess the only reason really being, they have different coefficients. So it's just going to be handled slightly differently, but a majority of the process will be just the same. So first thing we would still do is we would take away 64 to move that. So we get 2x squared minus 24x, leave a gap, equals negative 64. Then this 2, we want to get rid of that. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull the 2 out front, and it's going to become x squared minus 12x. Leave a gap, close the parentheses, equals negative 64. So again, what I did is just factored out the 2. So then what we're going to do is we're going to take from here, we're going to do our C work, and we're going to use the 12. So negative 12 over 2 squared is negative 6. Squared is 36. So we're going to do plus 36 here, but we have to be cautious because we've actually technically added 72 to this side because we have twice that amount. So on this side, we need to add 72 to make sure the equal sign is true, to make sure the teeter-totter is even. And then once we have done that, once we've done that, we can factor kind of like usual. So we'll just leave this 2 out, and we go x minus 6 squared. We'll use this again still. Equals negative 64 plus 72 is 8. And then divide by 2. So you get x minus 6 squared equals 4. Sorry, I'm kind of running out of space here. Square root both sides. I'm going to bring this over here. And we get x minus 6 equals 2, or x minus 6 equals negative 2. Add 6, and you get x equals 8. Add 6, and you get x equals 4. sorry, negative 2 plus 6 is 4. So those are your two solutions. All right. Then for this guy here, last one, that number's already, that 27's already off to the side for us, which is kind of nice. We have one less move to do. So what we can do then is just start by factoring out the 3. So we'll have 3 times x squared minus 8x, leave a gap, equals negative 27. 8 times 3 gets us back to this 24. Then we can do our C work off to the side. We'll use this guy. So negative 8 squared is negative 4 squared, which is 16. So we'll add 16. But again, be cautious. We've technically added more than just 16. We've actually added 48. So when we add that in, there we go. We need to add 48 to this side. Sorry, it got a little bit bunchy with the purple over there. So what ends up happening here is we've got 3 times, and then I'm going to do this x minus 4 piece right here. And then that's going to equal negative 27 plus 48 is 21. And then we can start solving. Divide by 3, divide by 3. And then we get x minus 4 squared equals 7. Square root, square root. So then up here, we get x minus 4 equals the square root of 7. Or x minus 4 equals the negative square root of 7. If you add 4, you get x equals 4 plus square root 7. Here, add 4, you get x equals 4 minus square root 7. These would be your two solutions. Your teacher may write it as x equals 4 plus or minus square root 7. Either one would work. So that's a lot of work. I just showed all the steps. I would recommend you write out all the steps so that your teacher can give you partial credit when you take the test. But I will do section 3.6 next.